Hi there, it's John Bice with eXp Real Estate and the Florida for Boomers Network here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. Getting a lot of questions about condos lately, and I want to cover what condo means in Florida, some of the advantages, what I think are some disadvantages of condo life, and give you an idea about what's happening in the condo market. So, hey, if you found us here on YouTube, we market primarily to baby boomers that are retiring and relocating or planning on being snowbirds here in this area. Also help a ton of families that are relocating here. So not that snowbirds aren't families, but you know what I mean, families with kids. So we would love to help you out. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We put out videos 2 to 3 times a week about living here, different communities, prices of homes, what's going on in the real estate market, and hopefully get you a lot of good information to help you make a great decision about relocating to our area. So condos in this area. Condo means typically in this area that you own basically the air inside the walls and you're responsible for everything within the walls of that unit that you buy, which means if a catastrophe happened and the building was completely destroyed, the condo association would build the frame of the building back, that everything on the interior of that unit you would be responsible for, from floors to walls to furniture to appliances, countertops, everything. So while the insurance is much lower than having insurance on a single family home, you still have to make sure you have an insurance agent that knows what they are talking about to insure you properly in that particular condo that you have. Now, we have condos that are villas, which are typically 2 units attached. The Del Webb has units that are 4 units attached. We have condo buildings here, obviously, like out on the beaches. And then we have townhomes here. Townhomes to us are typically 2 to 3 stories. Normally, what they build here is the garage and the living area on that first level. Unless you're in any kind of even near a flood zone, they're not going to build it like that. But typically garage and living area, and then the bedrooms and the bathrooms would be on that second story. If you're anywhere near a flood zone, what they're going to have is the garage on that first level, and we even have some of these in Lakewood Ranch. Living area on that second level, and then a third level where the bedrooms are. So we have many different styles of what condo means. So it's a different lifestyle. You're gonna share walls with people. Even if it's a villa with one shared wall, you're still gonna share a wall with people. You're gonna share if you're in a single story unit like a villa, you're gonna share that backyard area, not share it, but it's gonna be used by both parties. You're gonna have shared amenities in a condominium. So those are a lot of things to consider before taking ownership. I will tell you prices on condos here, it just depends on where you are, what the view is, but anything with a small view of the water. Now it could be Sarasota Bay, it can be the Gulf of Mexico. Probably, I would say the least expensive thing that you might find would be $700,000. You may be able to find that if you just have a tiny glimpse of the water. But if you have a full view of the bay or the Gulf, $1 million plus, easy. And it depends if that unit has been upgraded, updated, and how nice the view is. So we have some buildings here that were, I believe, go back to the 70s, the condos that we have. I don't think I've seen any taller condos out on the beaches like Lido Key, older than the 70s. But those buildings now are, after 30 years, having to go through this structural integrity certification with an engineering company, which is costly. That's part of your fees that they're going to be charging. It may be a special assessment that they have to do to have that done, but they're going to start maintaining these buildings or having them inspected, not only for the structural integrity, how old is the pool? Does it need to be resurfaced? How old are the windows? Do we need storm resistant windows in these buildings? What do we need to do to bring this thing up to the current standards? So there's a lot to take into consideration there. HOA fees, what do they cover? So obviously the higher the fee goes, the more they're going to cover, and typically the more amenities you have. So if you move into a condo and the HOA fees are like $200 a month, basically nothing is going to be covered but maintaining the pool and some of the fees that they have to have in a condo association. So the higher your fee goes, the more amenities that they're going to have. And then you have to consider things like, do they pay for roof replacements? Even if you're in a 3-story, 4-story, 5-story building, eventually the roof has to be replaced. So is that part of your condo fees? Are the roads private within the community? So when they have to repave those roads, is that part of the HOA fee, or is there going to be a special assessment levied against every owner in that community? So it's very important that you look through, when you buy a condo here, you get the rules and regulations and the condo documents and a copy of the budget. You have 3 days to review those. If you get the budget and it's all out of whack, and trust me, I don't know what in whack means, but out of whack, if it is, you can cancel within the first 3 days of your contract, even if it's not an as-is contract. If you get it and the budget is way behind, then you can say, oop, we're out. Now, with that being said, I'm not a real estate attorney, an insurance person. I'm not a mortgage person. I'm not any of these things. So don't blow my email up if you think something different, okay? I'm giving you my personal knowledge of what I know about things. But I will tell you that I've seen special assessments in communities where they had to do the roof, and it was going to cost $8,000 per unit to do the roof. So you have to know those things. Again, the higher the fee goes, typically the more amenities you're going to have. Now they're going to maintain that insurance of the building like we talked about earlier. They're going to mow the grass and do all the exterior things. They're going to have a property management person. They're going to have things to maintain the pool and any of the amenities. So you have to really look into that to see what your fees are covering with a condo. Location. People often say to me, hey John, we want walkability to things. We want to be able to walk out and go walk to things. Well, you're in the state of Florida. So 3 to 4 months of the year, trust me, you're not walking anywhere. And they, until recently, did not build things like that here in Florida because of summer. People weren't going to walk anywhere and things were spread out. So as I've said in previous videos, we go from our air-conditioned house to our air-conditioned car to the air-conditioned store or restaurant, back to our air-conditioned car, back to our air-conditioned house during summertime. So people aren't walking places. There are places like that now in, say, Lakewood Ranch. There's condos where you can walk down to the Main Street area. In some of these other areas, they're building things like that. Downtown Sarasota is a good example of that. Lots of condos in that downtown area where you can walk down the Main Street area in downtown Sarasota to shops, places to go have breakfast, coffee places, just all kinds of things. Again, a very different way of life. It's going to be a little bit more congested in those areas. Parking is a little bit limited. You're typically going to have parking underneath your building, but probably 1, maybe 2 spots to park in. So all of those things you have to take into consideration with a condo. Security. A lot of people like the idea of getting a condo because basically you lock your door, and if you're going to go away for 6 months, you're a snowbird, poof, you're gone and everything's taken care of. You don't have to worry about anything on the outside. Now, something I do highly recommend with a condo is you have somebody that can be a neighbor, it can be a service that comes and checks on the condo. People ask me all the time about setting their air conditioners, if they're leaving, if they're snowbirds. You have to leave the air conditioning on. Now you can put it on like 78, 79 degrees, but you can't leave it all summer here in Florida. You're gonna come back to a big molded up pile of goop if you don't have any air circulating inside a single family home or a condo. So you have to have that set. Highly recommend that you have people that'll come and check these things for you. The water, you can turn the water off, but did the water heater leak? Did you empty the ice maker for the refrigerator? Did you turn the refrigerator off? Is the door propped open? Just all kinds of stuff like that. So they have services here. They're not very expensive. It's well worth the peace of mind to have somebody or a neighbor that can do that. I watched the house across the street from us. That gentleman has gone to live with his kids up in New Jersey. I watched that house for him. You know, I check the pool every now and then just to make sure the water level's okay. They have cameras inside so they can see things, but you know, if they need me to go over there and check on something on the interior of the house, I can also do that. So just a good idea. Rules and regulations. You definitely want to look over the rules and regulations in that community. A great example is pets. What kind of pets, how many pets, how large of a pet. I happen to be a dog person, so probably no condo is gonna, we have a 105-pound dog and a 25-pound dog. I can get away with a 25-pound dog, but in a condo, 105-pound dog, wouldn't be a good life for him, wouldn't be a good life for us as much as he wants to go outside and everything. So yeah, you have to know, do they allow pets? How many pets? What's the area for the pets? Where do you have to take them? And that's one of the big ones. Do they have breed restrictions on pets? What do you have to do to own a pet? Do you have to let them know what kind of pet you're getting? So those are things. Leasing, big restrictions there. Some of the older buildings were the people who, you know, made up rules 30 years ago. They might say, hey, you got to own this place for 2 years before you can lease it, or 1 year before you can lease it. And then all the different rental timeframes are all different as well. Some will say you can rent for a week. Not many, but some will. Some are, it has to be at least a 30-day rental. It has to be at least a 90-day rental, or you can do 2 6-month rentals twice a year, and that's it. They're all going to require you to let the association know if you are renting it out. So there are a lot of them out on the beach that will do weekly rentals, but do not just assume that you would be able to do that. If you're going to be a snowbird, don't think you're going to be renting your condo out a lot during summertime unless you're out there on the water, on the beach. That's when the families come in. They're here for a week to 10 days. They want a place close to the beach where they can just walk out and their kids can be in the pool, at the beach, back to the pool, back upstairs. Those are good. But if you're in Lakewood Ranch or Parish or wherever and you're not that close to the beach, chances are they're not going to have weekly rentals anyway. But don't think that families are going to come down here and rent your condo for 2 or 3 months at a time, because it's just not a good idea. It's not going to happen. We talked about assessments. You know, you have to find out if there's any, if you're buying a condo, is there any current assessments in the community? Is the condo association getting ready to levy an assessment? Hey, we got to replace these roofs and we're going to start doing it in 2 months. So you've taken ownership, and then a month after you're the owner of it, they go, oh yeah, hey, we're replacing the roofs, you owe us $8,000. So you need to know that. It needs to be disclosed in the condo association disclosure that real estate agents have the owners fill out. There's a disclosure about the unit, and then there's an HOA disclosure too, telling you all the fees that you'll be paying, when they're due, who the management company is, They should get you the application to apply for the condo association. So those are all things to consider if you're thinking about buying a condo. There's 100 other things I could talk to you about, but those are just some of the top ones that I wrote down. So yeah, if you're considering a condo, I would love to show them to you. We looked at some beautiful units a few weeks ago, completely remodeled. Now again, they were smaller, they were older buildings, and actually had already had their structural inspections done, but completely remodeled, granite countertops, all new kitchens, all new flooring, all new bathrooms, and whoop, you open up those sliders and you're looking at the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty amazing, really, really nice. So if I can help you, condo, villa, townhome, of course, single family homes, give me a call, shoot me a message, email me. You can find me all over social media where my phone number and email address is and everything. I literally respond to people 7 days a week. Happy to talk to you about this area. I love to do Zoom calls with people. They answer questions, and that way we're face to face, and you can just snap off questions and I can answer anything that you have. I haven't found one yet, a question that I have not had an answer to. I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure it's probably about a condo. So, but I'll get an answer for you. I promise you that. So, again, if you're thinking about making a move, being a snowbird, let me know. I want to talk to you about it, see what we can find for you, and help you make this transition. We handle a whole entire process for you, so don't worry about it. We take that stress out of it. Again, hit the subscription button and the notification bell. We put out this kind of information 2 to 3 times a week. I look forward to hearing from you. I would love to help you find a place here with a view like this so you can hang out on the lanai on Saturday afternoons and just chill here in Florida. I love to call it paradise. It's absolutely beautiful. I love Sarasota. So God bless. Have a great weekend. Hope to hear from you soon.